You've heard me say it many, many times that I don't celebrate the wins, nor do I lament the losses. I stay even keel. As a gambler, you have to. As a handicapper who also is a gambler, you absolutely must if you expect to survive in this business. Now, some losses are obviously going to hurt more than others. I'll give you a case in point. Last Saturday, it was a week going into Saturday where every day for the week prior, I had won and then followed by a loss. Now, alternating wins and losses, there are worse things in life, but the big will obviously eat into your bankroll. But I was coming off a loser on Friday night with a 15-dime best bet, and last Saturday, I thought I had the best game on the board. I was riding Creighton at home -4 points in a Big East game against Xavier. Creighton, the Blue Jays, playing great at home all season. They were up by 9 at halftime. They were up by 11 early in the second half, and then the bottom fell out. And Xavier won the damn game outright. And I thought, well, this is not exactly the way you want to build momentum going into that little game on Sunday called the Super Bowl. But I had made up my mind. The minute the line was announced for the Super Bowl, where I thought the line was going to be 7, when it was announced at 3 and it stayed at 3, hey, I was all in on the Patriots. No ifs, ands, or buts. So, as you know, I came out with a 15-dime best bet on the Patriots. But later that night, on Saturday, after losing that game with the Creighton Blue Jays, and again, I'm not sitting here, oh, woe is me, but I'm looking at my college handicapping card, and I'm looking at the games, and I'm thinking, Jesus, how did I lose that game? So I'm researching other games, and I'm looking and I'm reviewing all the different recaps, because again, on a Saturday night into Sunday morning, that's when I'm reviewing every single college basketball game, which takes about 2.5 to 3 hours to read all the game wrap-ups and the box scores. And then certain games I like to read in depth, go to the different newspaper sites, look at the beat writers and kind of get their perspective. I came across a story where in north central Pennsylvania, I can't remember the newspaper I happened to read the story about, a columnist happened to be writing about all the bad news that he had been coming across lately, and he wanted to bring forth a story that brought some cheer to his heart, and he wanted to pass it on to his readers. And it was a story about a 24-year-old recent graduate, this guy, who had just graduated from college, and he wanted to take his first ever road trip. But he also suffered from muscular dystrophy that had him wheelchair-bound with a trach on a ventilator and left him totally paralyzed and left him round-the-clock support with 3 nurses. But he wanted to take his first ever road trip, and to do so, and he wanted to go to Disney World down in Orlando, and to do so, he had to raise $15,000 because that's what they estimated, a 10-day trip on the road with hotel rooms and the admission tickets and stuff to Disney. And this columnist had come across this story, and the guy had set up a fundraising page. And at the time when he came across the story, the guy had like $70 in donations. Well, the guy publicized it, and suddenly the donations started coming in. And he went back and revisited the site. And of course, me doing the charity play of the week, I know how this works. And after he publicized it, he came back and he gave an update to his readers, which I happened to read the update, and it suddenly had like $13,000. So that naturally got me thinking. So I clicked on the link and I saw it was like somewhere in the high 13,000s. So I'm sitting there and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I should have been doing the website, getting it ready for the Super Bowl. But I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, that's just a heartwarming story. Now, I'm sitting there, I thought, what the hell? I'm just going to put $100 in there. And I'm sitting there, and the reason 100 comes to my mind is my mom had just given me, I opened up a card I had sitting here on my desk where my mom had given me $100 at Christmas time, because what's my mom going to give me at this stage in my life, right? Because it's like, I want nothing in life. I have all the money I will ever need in life. I need nothing in life. All the money didn't buy my sister-in-law 1 extra day in her battle against cancer, didn't buy my father 1 extra day in his battle against cancer. Money is not the answer to anything other than what I can do good with that money for people that need it. So I thought to myself, the hell with this. That's what I did. Instead of doing my Super Bowl write-up, I went and I hurried up and gave a donation for $100. I'm a big believer, as I've told you many, many times, in karma. I just believe that you can never have enough positive karma in your life. Does it guarantee you're going to win in gambling? No. Does it guarantee you're going to win the Powerball tomorrow? No. Does it guarantee that you're going to not get hit by that snowplow tomorrow? No. But but I don't think it hurts. And I kind of find it interesting. I had no reason in the world to win with the Patriots on Sunday, and neither did any of you out there that had New England. I didn't watch the game. I got to tell you, I didn't watch the game. I forgot to mention that to you earlier in the week. You think I was going to watch the game? I told you how, the game, I could never bet enough money on the game to justify how important the game is to the company from a capitalist standpoint based on who had the biggest play. After reviewing all the handicappers, I realized on Sunday morning the Patriots had to win the damn game because so many of the big handicappers, including Shawn Michaels, including Chris Jordan, had monster plays on the Patriots, that they got more sales than anybody else, that the Patriots had to win the game. So it's a damn good thing I didn't watch the first half of that game. So my wife, of course, she's out. She didn't want to call me. My son's out in college. He didn't want to call me. He calls my wife and says, "Is Dad watching the game?" She says, "No, don't call him. Don't let him know the score." I think I was watching HGTV and I was watching some baking show on the Cooking Network. I wasn't going to watch the damn game. I happened to get an alert on Verizon on my phone that said, watch the Super Bowl on the NFL mobile network. The Falcons are up 28-20 with 4.5 minutes to go. Okay, now I turned the game on. When I finally clicked the little button on my phone, because I wanted to see immediately what was going on, it was then 18 seconds to go and it was a tied game. That's when I turned it on. When it comes up on TV, we're doing the coin flip. Patriots get the ball, and then I watched the game. It was a great game from my perspective. But I win that day. I win my 15-dime best bet then on Tuesday night. The Rockets destroy, who did they win? They beat Orlando by 24 points. I won a 15-dime best bet with Nevada. 27 points better than UNLV, laying 12.5 on Wednesday. I won a 15-dime best bet on Thursday night with SMU, 7.5-point road chalk, winning by 16 points at Temple. I win again last night, another 15-dime best bet, number 5 in a row. I cash in with Dayton, a 3.5 to 4-point underdog, winning outright at Rhode Island. They are down in that game. On the road, they are down in that game by 4 points, 73-69 with 24 seconds to go. They hit 2 3-pointers. Rhode Island playing at home, where naturally you should get the benefit of the calls and you're up by 4 with 24 seconds to go. They only go to the line twice and hit 1 of 2 free throws, and they lose the game outright. So maybe that karma thing does happen to pay off, because I've since reeled off 5 straight 15-dime best bets, the last 3 of which you've gotten as the half-price play of the day. And it all started with the most improbable win in Super Bowl history, next to Joe Namath guaranteeing the Jets win over Baltimore in Super Bowl number 3 last Sunday. So maybe there's something to that karma, which is maybe why you ought to definitely donate to the Charity Play of the Week this week, which you can find all the details right here underneath today's video report. Let's get to your complimentary plays here for today. I'm going to go with Towson. Towson University minus the 3 points at Drexel. Towson's coming off a 69-65 home win over Hofstra, an 82-80 home win over William & Mary, and a 104-103 double overtime win against Drexel. Can you say living on the edge? Even though I hate John Bon Jovi, I will use that phrase. Listen, the last time they played Drexel, just a week and a half ago, they had a 9-point lead with 2 minutes and 52 seconds to go in that game in regulation, blew it. But then they did come back to win it in overtime. They've now won 8 of their last 9. Drexel just managed to beat William & Mary quite convincingly by 18 points in their last game. But the Dragons had lost 4 in a row in 11 of their past 13 games. Cheap price, minus 3 points. I'm going to go with Towson in that one, minus the 3, and ride them. And by the way, it is Towson University, because I can tell you that years ago, that when I used to work in manage a wire service in suburban Philadelphia, Trace Adams, in fact, I used to work with Trace Adams, a couple other guys. We used to leave at the last minute from Philadelphia, used to go see the Baltimore Orioles down at, what was the old place that the O's used to play? Memorial Park? Was that what it was? God, I can't remember. Used to go buy scalpers tickets at the last moment. Then after the game, used to go to a bar that's no longer there in Towson called Schaefer's. We used to go hang out in Towson and drink after the games. Anyway, we move on. Next game, I like Iowa plus the 6 points at Michigan State. The Spartans had won 2 in a row. beating Michigan at home, beating Nebraska on the road. Before the Wolverines, Michigan got revenge and pounded them on Tuesday night, 86-57 in Ann Arbor. Meanwhile, Iowa's coming off a 101-89 overtime loss at Minnesota on Wednesday. Controversial call there in regulation that really screwed the Hawkeyes. That snapped their 3-game winning streak. They were all double-digit wins. Yes, they're 1-5 on the Big Ten road with their lone win at Rutgers. But I'll tell you what, I think this is a close game, and I'm more apt to take the 6 points in this one for an Iowa team that beat Michigan State in both games last year. This is a battle of two teams that rely extensively on young players. Both teams start 3 freshmen. Both teams extensively play 4 freshmen. Iowa, not a great defensive team, but again, last year they won at home. Laying 2, they won by 13. They won by 17 as a 9-point road dog. I think this could be a very close game, so I like taking the points with Iowa in this particular contest. I'm going to go with Georgia Tech minus the 7.5 at home against Boston College. Eagles have lost 8 in a row and 10 of 11. They're coming off an 11-point home loss to Pittsburgh, 23-point home loss to Louisville, 5-point home loss to Wake Forest. They're 0-5 on the ACC highway so far this season, losing by margins of 13 to Wake Forest, 11 to Duke, 23 points at the Carrier Dome to Syracuse, 1 at Miami of Florida, 6 at Virginia Tech. Now, Georgia Tech just beat up a Division II nobody on Tuesday night. They had lost their 2 previous road games in conference play, Wake Forest and Clemson. But at home, they're 4-1. And remember, one of those wins was against North Carolina. One of them was a big upset of Florida State. Another one was a big upset of Notre Dame. Another one was a solid win and upset of Clemson. Their lone loss came against Louisville. They're a different team at home. That 1-3-1 zone really confounds teams, especially those that don't shoot well, which is Boston College. So I think that's a good play as well. So Georgia Tech minus the points at home, Iowa plus the points at Michigan State, and I like Towson University minus the points at Drexel. Those are your 3 complimentary plays for today's card. Guys, I wish you well, and I'll talk to you again on Sunday when we do this one more time.